This is something all high-end table saws have, but for some reason nearly all job site table saws don't. It costs about $1 when bought in bulk, takes a second to install, and yet it's missing. So what is this thing? And why don't budget saws have it? This, my friends, is a soft start module. With just $7 including shipping, you can turn this into this. But why does that matter? It just makes the saw start slower, right? Well, not exactly. Without a soft start, the motor kicks in at full power, sending a sudden jolt through the entire saw. That's bad enough, but the real problem is what happens next. The sudden shock isn't just annoying, it can throw off your precision, losing components over time and make the saw shift if it's not bolted down. And that's before we even get to the power surge. A hard startup also slams the motor with a massive power surge, which stresses the components, shortening their lifespan and can even trip breakers or blow fuses. Therefore, many high-end saws come with this built in. However, the biggest reason I want this? Less noise at the startup. So what's the catch? If it's so cheap and effective, why don't all table saws have it? There must be a reason, right? Well, if there is, I haven't figured it out. But what I do know is how to install one of these. Here's how.
Electricity demands respect, so the very first step is always to unplug your tool completely. No exceptions here. Flipping the saw upside down immediately made everything more accessible. Those plastic side panels that always seems to be in the way, a few screws later, and they are safely set aside, giving us the perfect access to the internals. Inside the junction box, everything was neatly organized. 4 screws was all it took to remove the cover, revealing the carefully arranged wiring. The cables were secured with sturdy clamps to prevent any accidental pulls. These needed to come off temporarily to give us proper working room. Now for the star of the show, the soft start module. This clever little device has 3 wires that need our attention. The short wire got fitted with a male connector, while the neighboring long wire received a female connector. The remaining long wire required a bit more work. First, a female connector, then an extension with a male end to complete the setup. Identifying the right wires is crucial here. The power supply wires need to stay completely untouched. We are only working with the motor connections. First, we disconnect one motor wire from the switch and connect the module's short wire directly to it. The adjacent long wire then takes its place at the switch terminal we just vacated. Moving to the remaining motor connection, we remove that wire from the switch and insert our prepared extension wire. Female end to the switch, male end to the motor wire. Here's where attention to detail matters. Every connection needs to be rock solid. My initial attempt left some connectors feeling a bit loose, so I took the time to carefully tighten each female connector until they gripped perfectly. Every extra minute of quality checking makes all the difference in a reliable installation. With everything connected, the module tucks neatly into the junction box with room to spare. No awkward cramming or forced fits here. It's like this upgrade was meant to be. The screws goes in, cables get locked in place and the side panel snaps back on. And just like that, the saw looks stuck again. But we know better. Plugging it in, there's a brief moment of anticipation. Power on and